Hi, everyone. This is Joseph Pedoriano here bringing you episode 2 of the Next Level series. What we do in this series is bring business people on the show to have them talk about their organizations, as well as featuring those from the nonprofit sector as well. The business people we meet are great, unique, creative, talented, and innovative, and our goal is to showcase their business to all of you. Today, we're going to meet Daniel Borrero Jr., who is the co-owner of USA Land Ventures, an organization that focuses on empowering investors to train others to become investors and sell turnkey investment real estate opportunities. This organization focuses on the urgency of the current market conditions while providing inventory in growth markets with high returns on investment. Dan owns this organization with his brother David, and both of them have been real estate investors for a very long time. And today, you'll be meeting the leaders in the industry. Dan, right here.
Hello, everyone. Dan Borrero.
Dan, tell us about your organization.
So the company name is USA Land Ventures. That has been in existence for approximately 15 years. However, we started investing in real estate back in 1989, primarily in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. We had retail establishments, and over the years, as our retail establishments grew, we continued to buy property within the same location or within walking distance from our retail locations. And eventually, we decided to get out of total retail. I mean, we had a video store, we had a deli, we had 2 laundromats, a cell phone beeper store. But the real estate business became so profitable, and we saw that there was so much more room to advance within the real estate scope that we decided to alleviate ourselves from the retail stores and strictly do real estate.
How long have you been investing in real estate for? How many years?
As I said, since 1989 was the first time that we purchased our first property. It was a two apartment building in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Interesting story. We actually purchased that from Greenpoint Savings Bank. It was a foreclosure, and we knew absolutely nothing about real estate or even foreclosures. But at the time, it was relatively easy to buy in that area because it was such a depressed area that not many investors would even dare to go into that neighborhood at that time. To us, it was not really a big deal because we had not only our businesses there. I actually grew up in that area, so for me, it was just a matter of continuous growth within my natural habitat.
Mm-hmm. So you've grown very much upon this organization and upon the investing through experiential learning itself.
Correct. There was no internet to tell us what to do, or the information that's currently provided for free. Literally, I mean, today, if you make a mistake, most of the time it's because you didn't choose to do your research prior to you taking the action that you took. It's free on the internet right now. Back then, we actually had to go to a library and rent the book. Big difference.
Mm-hmm. And what inspired you to start this organization? What inspired you in doing that? What was your main drive for building this organization up? What's inspired you?
So essentially, we had these retail stores, and we were working 7 days, 12-hour days, right? Were we making money? Absolutely, we were, but we wanted a different lifestyle. The retail stores gave us the money we needed to start the real estate investing with down payments and escrows and renovation costs. But eventually, you realize you got to stop and smell the roses. So the real estate business essentially provided us the ability to not only work from home, but to work the business according to our personal schedules to a certain extent. So, if I wanted to go watch my kids go play a softball game, my daughters or my sons play their soccer game, I could do that. I could just schedule everything around those hours, right? As long as I get my work done by the end of the day, or that particular day, it really doesn't matter, right? So we wanted a better life. We still wanted to be self-employed. And essentially that's exactly what's happened.
Interesting. That's how you got involved in the industry, basically. You got
Precisely.
involved. Excellent. what makes your organization different from others in your industry? Talk talk about how you positively impacted people and empowered them. So
So, you know, I like to say that what makes us different is that we've got the same office number since 1985. I
wow,
have the same email since 1985.
can't say that
Uh,
that often.
no, I don't, we don't deviate, we don't change as far as anything in reference to integrity or morality. So, since we intended to be in this game in the long run, with the one thing you don't want to do is lie to anyone, and you don't want to deviate or I should say compromise your ethical or moral values, even if it means you make no money on the deal, right? Even if it means that the deal falls through because you're unwilling to do something that's unethical or immoral. So that's what makes us different from many of our competitors. Is one, the time that we've been involved within the business, the that we've overcome so many challenges, so many recessions, so many different political parties within our federal government. We don't allow our government, whoever's in charge of our government or their policies, to dictate the income that we're going to make. We work with what we have, right? And then on top of it, when someone buys a property from us, they're not just buying that property, they're buying us. So essentially, it doesn't matter if you bought a property from us 5 years ago or 10 years ago and you have a problem, you can always pick up the phone and ask me a question. And I'll be more than happy to work you through the problem, work the problem essentially for free.
That's incredible. You cannot say that too often about people in your industry, which is why on your website, I remember you have in fact, this is an amazing quote that I have right here, that that USA Land Ventures takes pride in separating ourselves from the herd. And that's very clear. You're a leader in your industry.
We
And
try to be, yes.
well, based on what I'm hearing, you are a leader. And that speaks volumes. And one of the most important things in a business that I've seen, and I've seen this with you on a business level, I've seen this with you dealing with you on a client level, and I've seen this with what you do with your clients themselves. You are very, very strong in your principles and your integrity and your ethics. That speaks volumes for you as a leader, and I
Thank
really honor that and appreciate that tremendously. In fact, and I noticed that you've inspired a lot of people because I see it on Facebook all the time, on social media, that a lot of people cling to your business, and not even your business, they cling to you because they see what you've done. They've seen how you have succeeded. They've seen how your business has grown, and they've seen how you've helped others. And I want you to talk more about that, how you've empowered others, and what people, in the age range, and and things like that. Basically, talk about those aspects.
So essentially, um, we we're in position now that we could actually pay it forward, right? And because we could pay it forward is what, excuse me a second, I'm sorry, let me just lower the volume on this. Because we could pay it forward is exactly why we're actually doing what we're doing now, where we created a YouTube channel, we created an Instagram channel, Facebook channel. It's all, you can find it all under USA Land Ventures, where we're giving out all of this free advice, right? But the advice is based on 31 years of experience, right? And we actually are doing videos as we're actually walking the property, or we're having a meeting with contractors, or discussing properties that we bought that are inundated with violations. How do you overcome those violations? What's the cheapest method of overcoming those hurdles, right? Because at the end of the day, what we want to do is save money, because for every dollar saved, it's a profit made, correct? So since we're in a position to pay it forward, essentially my kids are almost done with school. I only got one more left in college, and that's already paid for, right? So we've been very fortunate, along with our hard work, to make it happen, right? And now I see all these new people coming on, And I see, especially on the internet, I see, somebody buys, they have 8 or 9 properties, and all of a sudden they're a guru. That's not the reality, right? We've purchased thousands and thousands of properties, especially on the land side. We've done up until like 2017, 18, we were doing about 160 to 190 closings a year. Now, I'm not telling you as realtors because we're not realtors. We're real estate investors, right?
Yep.
So we actually have the experience. So we do the flipping, we do the wholesaling, we do land, we do multiple family, we do mixed use properties. And a lot of that we keep for our long-term investments. That's our offensive money. So our fix and flips are our offensive money, and our long-term investments are our defensive money, right? That's what gives us money in the long run. So having said that, when I see all these so-called gurus giving out this information that's so inappropriate and inaccurate that it agitates me. And that's what made us decide to start paying it forward and giving the real deal. Because in actuality, this business is not as easy as they make it appear to be. And there really is no business that is as easy as they make it appear to be. The business is only going to succeed as much as you're willing to work and how hard you're willing to resolve the problems that are confronted to you on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. And the fact is, and one of the reasons why people respect you so much, going back to earlier, is that you have integrity and honesty, and that's what really sets your business, in the leadership position too, as well. Aside from your results you've generated, the fact that you show your company the most honest manner, and you teach people actual lessons that you've learned from investing. That's
Right.
volumes, and you cannot say that too often because these gurus don't even know the lessons half the time.
No, I tell people all the time, if you feel the need to pay for it, and that the problem is that you just haven't taken the time out to do the research, and that's why you're paying for it. Because it's all for free online. People like myself, we're just willing to give it out for free, not because we're worried about, and we're not worried about you becoming competitors, because we've already accomplished what we had to accomplish, right? And we're going to still accomplish. Like myself, I'll never retire because I love what I do, right? If I didn't love what I did, then I would be thinking about retiring. Will I slow down? Sure, I will. But I'm going to do the deals because I love to make the deal, not because I have to do the deal.
Exactly. How has your organization experienced growth and success throughout the years? What made you succeed and grow? Like, what were the factors, and talk about that.
Staying the course. There's going to be a lot of times, I don't care what business you're in or what business you choose to be in, you're going to doubt yourself. And you're going to doubt yourself when things get tough. And when things get tough is when the outside elements, those people that want to, I say they're like crabs. If you caught a crab, 6 crabs, and you put them in a bucket, right? And one of the crabs is strong enough to figure out how to climb out of that bucket, the crabs below it will start pulling it down, right?
Exactly.
Don't be one of those crabs in that bucket, because essentially the people around you are going to support the fact that you should doubt yourself. So if you surround yourself with the right spouse and the right people around you that are going to actually encourage you and support you through the bad times, you'll be fine. You have to stay the course. You have to pivot according to whatever changes are within the game, within the business that you're in. There's constant change. Doesn't matter what business you're in. If you don't adjust and pivot with those changes, you'll be left behind.
I agree with you 100%. I could attest to the same thing in my business as well. The competition was very high at one point in my business, and I had to figure out ways that I could be able to be a leader in the industry, and it was not easy. I can tell you that right now. And any
No,
business,
listen, entrepreneurship is not easy,
it's
and
hard in the world.
there's very few people that fit the mold to be an entrepreneur. And I can tell you from personal experience, if you're with someone in a relationship that doesn't understand your mentality or how dedicated you are to your business, that makes it even worse, right? You know,
Relationship.
right. So I'm very fortunate that I have a wife that has encouraged me from day one and never held me back. Um, and has supported me through the entire process, right? So that's another thing that I highly recommend, that before you get into any serious relationship as an entrepreneur, again, whether it be real estate or any business you're in, you need to make sure that you and that other spouse are on the same page and you're pulling that wagon together. Because if one horse is pulling to the left and the other horse is pulling to the right, the wagon's going nowhere. Um, so you need to be pulling that wagon together.
So discuss, one of the big aspects of your business that I've noticed was that we have a great social media presence, for your business. I've seen your social media presence. And also, you have a nice website and things like that, and an amazing YouTube channel. Talk about how your business presents its message to the public and the ultimate message, if you could figure out like an ultimate message that your business presents.
So the ultimate message is essentially is that we're not really selling anymore, right? Um, we're here more as an advisory capacity to anyone that wants to learn or needs help within the real estate business. The selling part comes later, because again, we're past that stage within our environment or the business that we're in. We've done what we had to do. We've done everything we wanted to do. The sales part actually happens by itself, and I don't want to sound like we're bragging, but by no means we're not. We don't have any problem selling because we only sell what we're willing to keep ourselves. So there's never a property that I buy and I renovate that I'm not willing to keep myself if I don't keep the number, if I don't get my number. Because I renovate and buy everything according to making sure that, one, the work was done properly, because as an investor, I don't want to go in and pay people to go in and fix somebody else's mistakes. Secondly, I only buy in communities that I know are going to have an asset appreciation. There's many investors that buy where they're looking just for return on investment as far as rental income. That's not our philosophy, and I'm not talking bad about theirs. We all do what works best for us, and we all have different risk tolerance levels. What works for us is we only buy what's going to have an asset appreciation, really good returns on your rental income. That way, if I don't sell it at my number, I keep it. Because remember, we also do long-term investments.
Yep. And I know you have a great series, the Golden Nugget series, which we
Yes,
spoke
that's doing
earlier.
well.
It's growing like wildfire, basically.
Yes, it's doing very, very well, and we're helping a lot of people. I probably have about 2 to 3 conversations a day for about 15 minutes to a half an hour per conversation, and it's all for free, right?
Yep.
Why? Because I actually enjoy paying it forward.
How is your and so how many investors? So you benefit 2 to 3 investors per day at least. How,
At least, yes.
how many
Yeah.
investors, in total? Like probably at least over 1,000.
You know what, Joseph, I got to tell you the truth. I've never counted them. And remember, we just started the Golden Nugget series last year, and it
Yep.
took time to take off. But we're probably doing 2 to 3 a day on an average. I do it after 6 o'clock at night when my phones aren't ringing, so that I could actually give them my undivided attention.
Of course. And how has your series benefited investors in terms of, you know, the results that they've experienced?
I like to think immensely, right? But it all depends on the other who's on the other side of the phone, right?
Mhm.
So they could ask me whatever they want, but at the end of the day, they got to get up and do the actual work. So if you don't do the actual work, it doesn't matter what advice I give you, it's not going to come to fruition if you don't do the actual work. So for those investors or beginning investors that have done the work, it's going extremely well. For those investors that are still sitting on the shelf or contemplating or trying to figure out a way to achieve that success without putting in the work, of course it's not working.
Exactly. You give them advice. They could take the advice or they could run with the advice.
Precisely, right.
Yep. So, what are the short-term objectives and long-term goals of your organization? Let's talk about the short-term objectives first.
Short-term objectives constantly change, right? Because the short-term objectives are based on current business environment. and political environment. Whether we want to believe it or not, politics plays a game on our strategies, right?
Mhm.
So, although I don't believe that we should allow any political atmosphere determine our net worth, we need to take that into consideration and adjust accordingly, correct?
Mhm.
Now, our long-term gains is essentially to continue to accumulate additional properties that are going to create more cash flow for the future. And at the end of the day, we want to leave a legacy. That's what we're looking to do.
Amazing. So I have one last question in the interview. Tell people where they could find out about your organization, and may I share it on my screen as well?
Absolutely. So it's usalandventures.com is our website. On our website, you'll have all the links to our social media, uh, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, including LinkedIn and Twitter. Um, I like to put stuff on Facebook more because Facebook has a platform that allows us to put articles in there that are very interesting that the general public could use if you're looking to invest in real estate. And of course, Instagram is the other great platform for the younger generation. Everything is, immediate, right? So, and then again, if you have any questions, you could always feel free to give us a call. The number would be 347-386-7097. Company name is usalandventures.com.
Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate the interview. It was a great interview, and I know that USA Ventures will grow big time in the next forever.
Yes,
It's an
thank you.
it's an incredible organization what you have, and
Thank you for the opportunity to be on your platform.
well, thank you for participating on the platform.
Not a problem.
Yep. Take care, man.
Have a good day.
You too.